Hello everyone, this is Niharika. Today we have with us Mallar Mitra. Mallar is a third year law student from NUJS Kolkata. Mallar, being an Aditya Birla scholar himself, is here to talk about all the things we need to know about the Aditya Birla Scholarship. To quickly brief you about the scholarship, the Aditya Birla Scholarship is awarded to country's top scholars from 21 premier institutes. So hi Mallar, if you could quickly introduce yourself to the audience, so then we can begin with talking about the scholarship.
Hello, Niharika. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Mallar. I'm currently in my third year at NUJS Kolkata. I received the scholarship in 2022, February. The scholarship, as you said, is awarded to the top institutes in the country in the engineering, management, and the law fields. In law, I think the top 5 or 6 national law schools are eligible to apply, and the application process is two-staged. First, there's a written component where you have to write 2 essays, and then if you're shortlisted, you get called for an interview, and then you become a scholar, right? I'll go over in the details throughout the course of this interview.
All right. So first things first, could you tell us about the nature of the scholarship, the eligibility criteria, and the selection process in detail?
Right. So in order to be eligible, like as a law student, you have to be in the top 20 CLAT ranks in a top 5 national law school. That's how you're eligible. So the total number of eligible applicants is around 100. You'll obviously be invited by the scholarship committee to apply. This happens usually in September every year. And then in the first stage, what you have to do is you have to write 2 essays of 250 words each. The first essay, you have to talk about yourself, your goals, why you decided to study law, and your future plans after the completion of your degree. The second essay deals with what sets you apart, what specific quality sets you apart, and qualifies you as an Aditya Birla scholar. In addition to this, you also have to send them your resume, but it's primarily the 2 essays that make the difference. So out of the 20 applicants from each college who send in their essays, around 6 or 7 are shortlisted based on their essays, and they are called for an interview a couple of months later. So that's the first stage. The second stage, there's an interview, of course, some very distinguished and eminent panelists, legal luminaries from across the country. They take an interview. Around 6 or 7 people per college qualify. So there are around 35 final candidates. And out of those 35 candidates, eventually 15 are selected for the scholarship. So that's about the selection process. Yeah.
Right. So could you tell us about your own preparation journey, right from the essays to the interview stage?
Right. So I personally, when I learned about the scholarship, I did not like spend a lot of effort in the first stage. I mean, I think I wrote my essays on the last day of the deadline itself. But I did take help from a number of seniors in my college who were recipients of the scholarship. I sent my essays to them for like vetting and all of that. And I did get some valuable feedback. And I sent my resume as well. In my essays, I wrote about my reason to pursue law was largely based out of the gulf that exists between the law on paper and the law in operation. And I mentioned a couple of instances that were personal to me. And I also wrote about something called Samadarshita, which is essentially a rough Sanskrit translation of empathy. And these are the things I wrote about in my 2 essays. This was in September. And I think we got the results sometime in December or January. I don't remember when exactly, but I was fortunately enough, I was selected for the interview round.
Right. So what does being an Aditya Birla scholar feel like now? And so what are the perks of it and how do you think it has helped you?
So, so the perks of it are obviously they go beyond the monetary considerations of the scholarship. The law students get, I think, around 1,80,000 per year. Obviously, it's subject to very stringent renewal requirements. You have to be in the top 25 of your class. You have to maintain like a certain GPA. You have to be involved in, I think, a minimum of 2 extracurricular activities. So maintaining your scholarship, or I mean, making sure that you are renewed every year, that's also a challenge that steps in after you won the scholarship. But of course, I mean, winning the scholarship initially was, I mean, a very exhilarating, at the same time, a very humbling experience, because you're in the company of many bright and talented recipients as well. It has a lot of perks in the sense that you get to network with a lot of people who've achieved a lot, who are past Aditya Birla scholars. They're all leading lawyers, leading business magnates, and all of that. So it does put you in touch with a lot of people. It opens a lot of doors for you in the proverbial sense. So that's all about it.
Could you share any preparation tips for the future aspirants of the scholarship?
Right. So preparation, the first step would be to kind of be very authentic in the sense that you should know where you're coming from. There's no point in trying to, sell a story of somebody you're not. So it's very important to be authentic, to know what you really want, to be very clear in your mind. I think writing the essays requires a significant amount of introspection. You should really question why you've decided to pursue law. Once you're very clear in your head, it becomes easier to kind of, flesh out your thoughts and, put pen to paper and write those two essays. This is very important because during the interview round, you will be asked questions that will test your genuineness. So it's very important to kind of be very sincere, be very authentic. In the interview round, once I kind of knew that I made it to the interview round, I also gave a lot of practice and mock interviews to my seniors who had made it in the past. So that's important because it's only a 15-minute window and or thereabouts. So it's very important to make that difference. So your interview can ordinarily go well, but in order to make sure that you've made the cut, you'll only be only around 3 to 4 people per college are selected. You have to stand out. So it's important to there's something that I call interview management, where you kind of try and make sure that your interview is different. Maybe use some humor, maybe kind of bring in a personal anecdote that you think the judges will find interesting. So it's about connecting with the judges and making sure that the judge remembers you more than they remember, the other applicants. Because it's easy for the judge to also, be a little, distracted because there are so many interviews. So yeah, I think that's primarily it. Take your time. Make sure that you know what you're doing. Be very clear in your mind. Give practice interviews. Consult your seniors. Almost every law college has a very good alumni network. So I'm sure people will be more than willing to help. So that's mostly about the tips and tricks that I would give to aspirants.
All right, Mallar, thank you so much for your amazing insights. I'm very sure they're going to be very helpful for everyone watching it. Thanks again for being with us here and telling us what all we needed to know about the scholarship. I, on behalf of ILCC, wish you all the very best for your journey ahead. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much. All the best to you too, and all the people who are watching this.